let's keep moving, young man, and talk about some baseball. So at the moment,
An old man sport.
yes, at the moment, the MLB playoffs are going on. As of today, everyone but the Red Sox have gone through, or they're through to the Yankees and Red Sox game. I don't know what's going to happen between those two teams. Obviously, if the Yankees win, it goes to Game 5.
Right.
But everyone else is clinched, so Dodgers are going to play the
Everyone
Brewers.
else swept. Oh, no. Braves got one.
Yeah,
Braves got
Braves got one.
Yeah, you're right.
Dodgers are going to play the Brewers, and then on the other side, the Astros are waiting for the result of whatever the Yankees
Red Sox
and the Red Sox happens.
Yep.
But this kind of topic has been brewing in Jacob's mind because of the end of the every sport usually has an end of the year awards. And for baseball, there's a couple awards. So there's the best player, which is the MVP for each league or division. Or no, league. Right? League.
League.
So it's AL and NL, and then they also have an AL NL Cy Young, which is the best pitcher, and then they have an AL NL Rookie of the Year, so the best, basically, first year player in his major league debut or debut season.
Yeah.
Is that the only one? Is that all we're doing, or is
there is one more? They named them both after Mariano Rivera and Trevor Hoffman. So in each league. Okay. There's the Mariano Rivera Award, which is best bullpen pitcher, and then Trevor Hoffman Award is the best National League bullpen pitcher.
Nice. So it's the best closer, basically.
Not necessarily, but most of the time it ends up being closer. Yeah. So Edwin Diaz, for example, is going to be the one from the Seattle Mariners because did he? I don't think he ended up breaking the single season saves record, but he came pretty close. So he had an excellent season, and then in the NL probably be Josh Hader for the Brewers.
Yeah. All right. So, which one do you want to do first?
Let's start with the Rookie of the Year. Those are the lower tier one, the lowest tier one anyway.
Okay.
So let's start in the American League. So I think there are really three people. Well, personally, I think there are only two, but statistically speaking, there are three people who could win this award. Miguel Andujar from the Yankees, 297 batting average, 328 on base, 527 slugging, 855 OPS, 27 home runs, 92 RBIs. Gleyber Torres, 271 average, a little bit better on-base percentage, but worse slugging, 24 home runs, 77 RBIs. And Shohei Ohtani, which is not really, I guess, that controversial, especially with only because of how good of an end of the season that he had. But obviously, both a pitcher and a batter. So at the plate, he hit 285, 22 home runs, 61 RBIs. He also had a 925 OPS, which is a full 70 points above Andujar. And then on the mound, he was 4-2, 3.31 ERA, 116 WHIP. But he had 11 Ks per 9, which is strikeouts per 9 innings pitch, which is, for example, the list of people that I have on the AL Cy Young, that is higher than 2 of the 4 people that are on this. So he's an incredible pitcher as well, is all I have to say. So who do you have as your AL Rookie of the Year?
Well, I think because of the other two guys, Miguel and Gleyber Torres, because I'm not going to say Miguel's last name again because I can't. I already forgot how to say his last name. Andujar. There you go. I think either of them will probably win it just because of them playing a full season. I think Ohtani is the better player than both of them because what Ohtani's done in the shorter amount of time than they have. I think they both have over 200 plate appearances over him, but he's still
probably what the stat that I did write down for that was games played. So Andujar has 140 games, Gleyber Torres 127, and Ohtani only played 104.
Yeah, so he played way less games than he has. If he would have played a full season, he probably would have had more home runs.
Yeah.
Than they, and he didn't pitch at the end of the season, at all.
Because he needs Tommy John surgery. Yeah. He had Tommy John surgery last week.
Yeah. So, with that said, if he was able to get the full at bats in the beginning of the year, I think he would have out hit them.
Yeah. Well, even
he would increase those numbers to where.
Yeah, for sure.
It would have really shown a full season him at bat. But he's a pitcher too as well, and that stat you showed with the 11 strikeouts per 9 innings. It's like that shows another thing as well. Because I was reading a couple articles before this about how yes, he hasn't played those games, but he's also pitching. So those stats should show too. I think Ohtani should win, but I don't think he's probably going to win just because of that. Probably 'cause he didn't play enough games.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think Ohtani should win just based on he played 36 games less than Andujar, but he has Ohtani has a 3.9 WAR, which is wins above replacement. Andujar only has a 2.2. So he was involved much fewer times than Andujar, but had a much bigger impact over the course of the season. And yeah, while I don't think he was greatly successful on the mound, especially with the arm problems that he ended up having, he's definitely the best hitter. I mean, 22 home runs in significantly fewer plate appearances, and even if he had been healthy the whole year, well, we would have had a bigger sample size for pitching. First off, but
2 of those losses he was basically hurt for.
Right.
Too.
Yeah. So we would have seen a bigger sample size for his pitching, but he would have crushed it on the offensive numbers compared to both of these guys. But I do think that Andujar is going to end up being the one winning. I think Gleyber Torres, if it were not for Miguel Andujar, it would be Gleyber Torres. Mm. But just he's not even the best rookie on his own team, which is kind of hard to believe. But
yeah.
So yeah, I do think that it'll go to Andujar this year.
Yeah.
So let's jump to the National League.
National League.
I have 4 people written down here. I'm actually going to skip one of them because I'm sorry, Harrison Bader and St. Louis Cardinals fans, but it's not going to happen. So we're just going to skip over that for the sake of time. So I have 3 people left on this list. The first one is Ronald Acuna Jr. For the Atlanta Braves. He had a 4.1 WAR this year, bat 291, 366 on base percentage, 916 OPS, 16 stolen bases, 26 home runs, 64 RBIs. Second person is Juan Soto from the Washington Nationals, 3.0 WAR, 292 average, so basically the same, 325 OPS, so a little bit better offensive production. He had a 40-point higher on base percentage at 406, 22 home runs for Soto, 70 RBIs. And the last one is actually a pitcher that I have on here, is Walker Buehler from the Los Angeles Dodgers. He had a 3.5 WAR. He had an 8.5 ERA, 2.62 ERA, 0.96 WHIP, so he's averaging less than 1 base runner an inning, basically. And he had just shy of 10 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched. So a really good strikeout rate, especially for a rookie. So yeah, of those 3, who do you have as your NL Rookie of the Year?
Well, I think Acuna is going to win. But I would want Walker Buehler. Same thing with Ohtani thing. I would want him. But I think just the way they're probably going to vote is probably going to give it Acuna. I think Acuna had a solid year. I think the first year, that's pretty impressive, to what he's done. In my eyes, I think Buehler kind of I don't know if anyone would, or if I sound like an idiot, but I feel like he's probably one of the guys that saved the Dodgers season by pitching that well.
And he was pitching well. Sorry to jump in on you, but he was pitching well when Kershaw was out with back problems. So it was a really, really important time. Yeah,
he was basically more valuable, and this is probably going to our AL MVP talk as well. I think he was more not just valuable on his team, but I think that kind of shows in the why. I think he should win it, but he's probably not going to. Acuna, I think with him out of the lineup, you saw in the beginning of the year the Braves were fine. So that's what I look at it too. How really valuable is he to the team? So, but I think he had a great year. I would have wanted to been that guy in Great American Ballpark who caught his home run and just took off after
that. Yeah. So I definitely agree with you about Walker Buehler. I think he had an incredible season. And he was like Ohtani, not really although he was injured a couple times this year, but he was also, I think he ended up back in the minors also for a little bit, late on into the year. In fact, I don't even think he's on. It's either him or Ross Stripling that didn't even make their postseason roster. I don't remember which one of them it is. Now that I'm blanking.
Buehler pitched the game.
He pitched the wild card game, right?
So he hasn't pitched the series at all?
I don't think so.
We'll
it was
see. So they must have. We'll
it was Hyunjin Ryu and then Kershaw, and then Ross Stripling.
Okay.
And then maybe back to the top now. I'm not sure how many people they're running in their rotation. Probably like Rich Hill tonight, maybe, or something like that.
Maybe you might not. Okay, we'll see.
I think I don't think a pitcher's going to win it. So for me, Walker Buehler's out. Between Acuna Jr. and Soto, they basically have the same batting average, very similar OPS, very similar power and RBI numbers. I think what's going to give, in my opinion, Ronald Acuna Jr. the edge is one, the run that he had where like he almost set the record for like consecutive games with a home run. And then, like, I forget the name of the guy that, like, plunked him in the beginning of the game so that he couldn't... or no, it wasn't just games with the home run. It was games with the leadoff home run, I think. And then, like, his first at-bat of, like, the next game where he was, like, going to set the record, the guy hit him so that he didn't get the record or whatever. So, like, I think that, like, he had a lot of weeks like that where he was just on fire. And the fact that the Braves made the playoffs and the Nationals, like, imploded... I think it's going to give him the edge. Even though, in my opinion, these are individual awards... and the team performance shouldn't matter. But I think that is going to give him the edge in the votes, is the fact that the Braves made the playoffs. So let's move on to American League Cy Young. Moving up the ladder here.
Cy Young. Who won the...
I have 4 people on this list. Most people probably only have 3. I have one that's going to be just like for consideration that like no one's going to agree with me, but he should be considered. Okay, here we go. Number 1 is Chris Sale from the Boston Red Sox. 6.9 WAR, 12-4 win-loss record, although I don't really care about win-loss record.
Red Sox.
2.11 ERA, 0.86 WHIP, 13.5 strikeouts per 9 inning, K-ing people just left and right. Blake Snell, also in the AL East with the Tampa Bay Rays. 7.5 WAR, 21-5 record. 1.89 ERA, 0.97 WHIP, 11 Ks per 9. Justin Verlander, Houston Astros, 6.3 WAR, 16-9, 2.52 ERA, so the highest of the 3. 0.9 WHIP, 12.2 Ks per 9, and also a very good strikeout to walk ratio, 7.84, almost 300 strikeouts as well, 290 total. The 4th person that I have on this list is actually a reliever. Blake Trinan from the Oakland A's. He had 68 appearances this year, 4.3 WAR, which obviously he doesn't have as much opportunity to impact the game. So like having that high of a WAR just coming out of the bullpen is really good. 9-2, 0.78 ERA on the whole year. Coming out of the bullpen.
Did he throw the ball?
With a 0.83 WHIP. He had 38 saves. He pitched 80 1/3 innings pitched, and he had an 11.2 strikeout to walk ratio. So he had 11.2 strikeout per 9 inning ratio. So he had a better K per 9 than Blake Snell, and Blake Snell was 21-5 as a starter. So those are my 4. Who do you think should be the AL Cy Young?
See, like, I'm like the opposite in a sense. Like, when you say, oh, these are individual awards. But, like, I think also you got to look at, like, their impact on, like, how important they are. And it's, I wouldn't give it to Snell just because he plays for the Tampa Bay Rays.
So Snell is eliminated. See, well, why should Blake Snell be eliminated because of his team?
Well, no, because it's like it's not that it's his team, but it's just like, oh, I asked you, like, oh, how many of those wins are from the Orioles or the Blue Jays?
Sure, that's true.
And I think Verlander, I don't even know, dude. I can't come up with one because like whatever I say is it wouldn't be right. I think everyone is gonna some of them is like either Sale or Snell is gonna be one, but like you can make a case for the other 2 guys as well. So I can't really. I'm not gonna pick one.
In my heart, I want Blake Trinan to win this award. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
but he had one of the best seasons out of the bullpen that anyone has ever had, and that deserves to be recognized. I'm sure. I don't know. I think that Edwin Diaz is going to win the Mariano Rivera Award, so I don't even know that he's going to end up this year with like any rewards.
Dust.
but I think he deserves consideration. But being a reliever, he's not going to get it. Justin Verlander for me had a great year, but while he thrives in the postseason and is thriving in the postseason, I mean, he like completely shut down the Indians. And that game was Kluber versus Verlander too. Like that, he just completely destroyed them. But I think Sale and Snell both had better years than he did. The reason I'm going to go with Blake Snell as my pick is because he is just flat out the best pitcher in the American League. I know that the Red Sox like won 100 and whatever games, 110 plus games this year. Chris Sale pitched well at times. Basically, he pitched very well up until like he got injured in August, and like then he had like one or two okay starts in September. He always seems to kind of fall off at the very end of the year. But Blake Snell pitching on the Rays, who surprised this year. I mean, did the Rays finish over 500? Probably. I don't remember. They came pretty close.
It would seem like they didn't, because like both the top two teams got over.
Because I think the Rays were the last team that were out of the wild card.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I think so. I think they even passed the Mariners before the end of the year.
Damn.
I could be wrong there, but they got close. They definitely probably overperformed. But Blake Snell being 21-5 on the Tampa Bay Rays, a sub-2 ERA, sub-1 WHIP. His only improvement could be in like strikeouts to walk ratio of 3.45. It's like literally half of Sale's and like less than half of Verlander's. But I just think that Snell had the best year of all the pitchers that are available.
Okay.
And he also had the highest WAR, so the stats support that he was the most valuable as far as like if you were to replace him with a league average pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you ready? NL Cy Young.
NL Cy Young.
3 names on this list. 2 people 100% deserve it. 1 person probably actually deserves it as well. Number 1, these aren't in any particular order. These are just the order that I looked at their stats, I guess. Jacob deGrom, New York Mets. 10-9 record, which is why record doesn't mean crap, because the Rays couldn't score any. Or sorry, not the Rays. The Mets couldn't score any runs when he was pitching for whatever reason.
Well, plus they have players that are like our parents' age on there too. So,
I mean that is also true. But David Wright's retiring, so that'll get a little bit better. 1.7 ERA, 0.9 WHIP, 269 strikeouts, 11.2 strikeouts per 9, 5.85 strikeouts to walk ratio. Excellent. One of the best. Like ignoring his record, 100%, literally one of the best pitching years that there has been in a while. Aaron Nola for the Philadelphia Phillies, 17-6, 2.37 ERA, 0.98 WHIP, less strikeouts, sub 10 K per 9, and again he struggled with the strikeout to walk ratio, 3.86. And then the last guy is Max Scherzer, who I believe has won the last 2 NL Cy Young awards. Mm-hmm. He's 18-7, 2.53 ERA, 0.91 WHIP. 300 strikeouts this year on the dot, and 12.2 strikeouts per 9. Who do you have as your NL Cy Young?
deGrom.
Good. You made the right choice.
Well, it's not that I made the right choice.
No, you made the right choice.
He's the most entertaining pitcher to watch in the major leagues, I feel. For me.
Sure.
Whenever I can watch a Mets game, I'm like, is deGrom pitching?
How often do you watch a Mets game?
Oh, I was paying attention to him when he was playing.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. If I ever get a chance to, because the ESPN app has like those once a week games.
Yeah.
But sometimes the national broadcast ones, like when they play the Yankees, the series in like July, I think, or maybe June, I watched that pitching. That was a great pitching duel. Or not pitching. It was like the Yankees lineup versus him, basically. I think they ended up losing that game, but it was like entertaining.
They probably did. 'Cause he was only 10-9.
Yeah, because it was only like 1-2 or something like that, and I think Severino was the other opposing pitcher. But like watching him go against like Aaron Judge and them, it was just like it was entertaining. It just for me it was because like it's like playing chess in the baseball format. And sorry Nola and sorry Scherzer. I don't really like Scherzer because I don't like his face as much.
Because you don't like his face?
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. His face is kind of annoying. I'm sorry. I just don't. My beanie fell off. I can't find it. But I mean like. It's not like Scherzer, you have 2 of them. But like DeGrom has earned it though. I think he'd be the first person I think to win the award with this kind of ratio, right?
Win-loss ratio?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, that's what I read. So I was like, that's kind of interesting and kind of be unprecedented about that. But yeah, I don't. It's kind of weird because none of these 3 players also didn't make the playoffs, which kind of sucks. So that would have been cool to see these guys in the playoffs too.
It's true. Both the Phillies and the Nationals both like just crumbled in the last like month and a half of the year, and the Mets were out of it pretty early. I would go with Jacob deGrom, obviously, just because like there's really not a lot that needs to be said. He straight up had one of the best pitching seasons that I can remember off the top of my head, in my lifetime.
You can even look at his stats to like the year he came up with, and then you can compare his stats to Kershaw, and they're very similar too.
Yeah, and he's like 1.7 ERA, pitching as many innings as he did. Like the dude is literally almost unhittable for an entire season.
The Angels should get him.
Oh yeah, yeah, sure. So that's gonna happen. All right, so let's get to the big ones. We have. What did I do with it? Did I not make it?
Yeah, because Kershaw's Kershaw's a Hall of Famer, and like some of his stats, he just doesn't. DeGrom doesn't have like the Cy Youngs to back it up. That's the problem. But this is gonna be a first one, right?
For DeGrom?
Right? Yeah.
Because it was either. I feel like for some reason I feel like Syndergaard had one in there, but I feel like so maybe it was Scherzer, Syndergaard, Scherzer.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't remember.
He didn't show up this season at all.
Well, he played on a trash team again.
What I'm saying?
AL MVP. There are 3 people on my list, but I truly believe that there are actually only 2 people going for this award. So, Cleveland Indian fans, Jose Ramirez had a good year. I mean, 39 home runs, 105 RBIs, 34 stolen bases. Incredible season. One of the best third basemen probably third baseman. Him and Nolan Arenado, probably best third baseman that are in the league right now.
It's unfortunate he plays for the Indians.
Really? I mean, why?
They're
a playoff team. Don't say the Yankees.
The Yankees. I'm not a Yankees fan either. Or like just like a.
But for me,
just central. Just
Ramirez is eliminated both because Trout and Mookie Betts had incredible seasons, but also that I'm kind of a batting average guy, and like only being at 270 batting average hurts him a little bit. So 2 people left for the AL MVP. Let's start with Mike Trout, the hometown Anaheim Angels. Not the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. No one wants that.
I heard he's a really nice gentleman.
From who?
People.
Dust. Okay. He's an Eagles fan. He's from Jersey.
Makes no sense. But okay.
Well, they don't have an NFL team in Jersey. I mean, they have New York teams that play in Jersey. But
exactly. Okay. This is what.
Mike Trout, 312 batting average, 460 on base percentage, which was the league leader, not just American League, like league leader in general. 628 slugging, and a 1,088 OPS, which is also leading the league. 39 home runs, 79 RBIs, 24 stolen bases, 10.2 WAR.
39?
39 home runs.
So he almost got 40.
How
many did Martinez hit?
Martinez? I didn't look him up. Probably like mid-40s. 43-ish, 44.
A lot of.
Mookie Betts. This is another reason. Also, I guess I don't have. You reminded me. I don't have JD Martinez on this list because he's not even the best player on his team. So get out.
Oh yeah, that's true. This is true.
Mookie Betts, 346, which was leading the league batting average, 438 on base percentage, 640 slugging percentage, which led the league, and 1,078 OPS, 32 home runs, 80 RBIs, 30 stolen bases, 10.9 WAR. So between really just those 2, who do you have as your AL MVP?
I want to say Mike Trout.
Good answer.
Well, it's not. I mean, the answer is really easy. You just look at the Red Sox lineup and you look at the Angels lineup, and how Mike Trout is able to do that with the Angels lineup like that, and to what the protection that Mookie Betts gets around him. I mean, you can say, "Oh yeah, look at his stats." So like, yeah, but who's hitting around him? You got JD Martinez. I don't know. I forgot to say Andrew
Benintendi.
Yeah, Benintendi.
Yeah.
It's like Mike Trout has Justin Upton and Albert Pujols. Like, come on. Simmons had a decent year this year.
Yeah, he did.
So I mean,
And the first half of Mike Trout's season had Cole Calhoun also that was batting like 130.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's
Ian Kinsler was batting below 200.
There's no support there, like for me, and to get those numbers out of that, it's like that's absurd.
Yeah,
and then we were even looking at it. It's like the Angel Stadium, like dimensions of like their field, like it's not incredibly hard to hit a home run, but it's pretty difficult. And I'm not sure how many of those 39 were in there.
I would say that it's probably harder for a right-handed batter to hit home runs at Fenway than it is at Angel Stadium.
Okay.
Because like yes, the green monster is closer.
Yeah, but most of his home runs were dead center or left field for Trout.
Well, yeah, but that's my point. Like half of Mookie Betts' games were at Fenway, and like he has to hit him either over the monster or like 420 to dead center. Because in center field, it's like I think 408 to the wall, but the wall is like 15 feet high.
We should probably look up the home runs where the difference were.
Maybe we should.
I would feel like he probably hit more home runs not at Fenway.
Betts hit more home runs at Fenway?
He probably hit more outside of Fenway.
Oh. I don't know. I mean, that'd be interesting to look up, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
So obviously I have a bias here.
Well, it's not a bias. It's just fact. You just look at the goddamn lineups, man.
I know. Mike Trout this season had the best, the worst batting average of people hitting in front of him. So, like, be it Ian Kinsler or Cole Calhoun or who else hit leadoff? I guess Simmons hit leadoff a little bit this year, but that wasn't until, like, the end of the year.
No, he hit leadoff before he took a wrong step down the stairs.
Yeah, but that was still like there was only like a month left in the season, I think, or so, maybe 6 weeks.
No, when he did it to his ankle.
When that happened, yeah.
No, it wasn't. That was like earlier in the year.
Was it really?
Yeah, when he did that.
Anyway,
like he hit like a leadoff for like that week, and then like was like, not anymore. I'll see you later.
So basically, Mike Trout had no one ever on base in front of him. The only reason his RBI total is so low, like he has 39 home runs and only 79 RBI. So like he hit a ton of solo shots because no one was ever getting on base in front of him. Be it like the leadoff batters, like first or second batter. Well, he hit second a lot, but like sometimes he hit third. So the first or second batter in front of him for the Angels lineup, or like 7, 8, 9, 1, like coming back through the order. No one was ever on base for him. So the fact that he was able to put up these offensive statistics, although I do think that his on-base percentage and his OPS are inflated because he was the only like major batter in the Angels lineup. So like he was walked like we went to a game, I think it was against the Orioles, where we sat out in right field, and like they intentionally walked him 4 times in that game. So like obviously his just to like get around him and like pitch to Poulos and pitch to Justin Upton and people like that behind him in the lineup.
I mean, we weren't just going for the Angel game. We also went because we wanted to see Manny Machado. Or I wanted to see Manny Machado, but yeah.
Yeah, that was before. Yeah, that would have been before Machado got traded.
That was a terrible game.
But I just think that like Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, if
you switch those 2 players on each team, Mookie Betts is hitting that for dick.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's
Mike Trout. That's
what it comes down to.
Mike Trout will probably have probably double all those numbers.
But 346 batting average. I mean, shout out to Mookie Betts. This will be if Mike Trout wins it, this will be the second time that Mike Trout like edges Mookie Betts for the MVP award. It happened 2 years ago in 2016. So like I think it should be Mike Trout. I think it's going to be Mookie Betts this year, only because like you joked about like, oh, Scherzer already has to like give one to DeGrom. I think that like Trout already has to give one to Mookie Betts. Oh, I think that's kind of what's gonna happen.
But what was my original lineup or my thing I was said about what I was gonna bring from the NL, or I forgot. Never mind. Yeah, screw it.
NL MVP.
I know. Liz is wide open.
There are a lot of people that are up for this. I have 6 names actually written down here. We're gonna run through this really quickly. I know this has been like a ridiculously long episode.
We're looking at stats as well. We're backing this up with facts.
Numero uno is Nolan Arenado, third baseman for the Colorado Rockies. 297 batting average, 374 on base, 935 OPS, 38 home runs, 110 RBIs. Everyone likes to throw in the things like, oh well, he plays in Colorado.
What plays in Colorado?
There's thin air in Colorado.
Well, there's thin air in Yankee Stadium too.
Well, that too, but I mean, like they make the stadium in Colorado is bigger. They compensate for the fact that the ball travels farther. In any case,
they made this stadium smaller in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, that thing's a matchbox. Matt Carpenter from the St. Louis Cardinals, 257 batting average, but the same 374 on base percentage as Arenado because he got walked a whole bunch. 36 home runs, 81 RBIs, 4.9 WAR for Matt Carpenter. Javi Baez from the Chicago Cubs, shortstop for the Chicago Cubs. 290 batting average, 326 on base, so like not walking a lot. He is a guy that's like self-described like free swinger, like he just goes up and rips at the ball. He's
it Ecuadorian or Venezuelan?
I think he's Venezuelan.
Okay.
881 OPS, 34 home runs, 111 RBIs, 6.3 WAR. You had listed in the vote, which is why I put this guy on here, Lorenzo Cain, that like he was up there.
No, I was reading an article that had Lorenzo Cain in it.
Well, I guess I didn't try to verify these stats of the 10 home runs, 38 RBIs. I kind of find that hard to believe. But that's what it said. I got all these stats from Baseball Reference, and that's the numbers that they had there.
I feel like that's like his stat from like the first third of the year or something like that.
I'm not sure what happened there. 308 batting average, though, and an 813 OPS with a 6.9 WAR. He has the highest WAR of any of these people on this list. The first baseman for the Atlanta Braves is our fifth person. Freddie Freeman, first baseman for the Braves. 309 batting average, 338 on base, 892 OPS, 23 home runs, 98 RBIs, 6.1 WAR. And last but not least is Paul Goldschmidt, 290 batting average, 922 OPS, 33 home runs, 83 RBIs, 5.4 WAR. First baseman for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Do those stats line up? Is that what it says elsewhere?
Yeah, that's what I have right here.
10 home runs, 38 RBIs. Wow. So for me that eliminates him. No RBI production.
But
I guess although you know what? Who I don't have on here? We have the wrong Milwaukee Brewer on here. We don't have Christian Yelich.
Yeah, I was gonna say I forgot you didn't put Christian Yelich on there.
Yeah, I don't know why I skipped over him.
His brother's pretty chill. I thought he was gonna be a douchebag, but I had an English clash with his brother. I forgot his brother's name. And then when he told me oh yeah, dude, my brother plays in the MLB. I was like, what? Yeah, he plays for the Marlins. I was like, what are you talking about, dude? Shut up. And I looked it up. I was like, holy crap, this guy wasn't talking. This
guy wasn't kidding. Let me look up Yelich's stats real quick. 7.6 WAR, so he would have a higher WAR than Lorenzo Cain. 326 batting average, 402 on base percentage, 538 slugging, 1,000 even OPS. He had 36 home runs and 110 RBIs. That actually makes this really easy for me. But you, go ahead. Who is your NL MVP?
I don't even know what you just said right now, honestly. Who are you going to pick?
High batting average, lots of home runs, lots of RBIs. Christian Yelich, NL MVP.
I think a lot of people, the one in the articles, everyone basically picked him. I like Freddie Freeman just because he's cool. He looks nice.
I think for me,
he's a local boy.
My second would be Nolan Arenado. Even though he plays in Colorado, he's really put together an incredible year. Big power numbers, big RBI numbers.
Dangerous.
And him alongside of, that's maybe coming next year. Him alongside Trevor Story, a totally wicked left-hand side of the infield.
The Angels should get him, and they should also get Lorenzo Cain.
That's not going to happen. So those are our picks for the major MLB awards.
Yeah, I would pick Yelich. Just the way he was also on the books or almost there for a Triple Crown too.
Yeah, I think it was his last at bat of the regular season. Had he homered in that at bat, he would have got the Triple Crown.
Yeah, and then also it was a great move from him to go from Miami to
it was a great move for him to go anywhere but Miami.
Yeah, but because at Miami it seemed like he wasn't gonna pan out to be a great player, just average. It seemed like for me.
Yeah, I guess.
And then that great move, he just needed to be on a good team.
Yeah,
in a way to expand his horizons. But yeah, that's been our debate a little bit of a debate in there of who we have for the MLB year-end awards. Let us know in the comments down below. Let us know, haters, on Mike Trout not winning the AL MVP because he should win it. and Mookie Betts is trash. No, I'm just kidding.
Dang.
No, Mookie Betts, that dude's lit. Anyways, yeah, let us know in the comments down below to let us know, Boston Red Sox fans, and how much you love Mookie Betts.